Breaking news. What is this? Breaking. The FBI, DOJ have determined there is no evidence Jeffrey Epstein had a client list, blackmailed powerful people, or was deleted per Axios. I guess we're going to say that Axios is woke, right? I guess that's what we're going to do. Might as well, right? Hey, all gravity, any evening above ground living. Hope you had a fantastic Sunday. I know the new work week is starting, so, go out there and be productive this week. Let's have fun with this, because white supremacy on the right is upset. How are you this upset on a beautiful Sunday evening? So, for those who don't know, an hour ago, Axios dropped this bombshell on the internet. They say the DOJ and the FBI conclude Epstein had no client list and he offed himself. Now, we all know they were running around with a narrative for years saying that Jeffrey Epstein was deleted in Manhattan Detention Center because he had the proof that there were a bunch of elites out there doing things to children, the island and all that. They were circulating around a list that supposedly had some of the most well-known celebrities on earth. From Hollywood, the business sector, say they went to that island. Going back as far as the 80s. They were sitting there defending their president, saying, yeah, they knew each other, but he never went to the island. I told y'all that Cash and Pam Bondi were DEI hires. And it all led up to this. They really thought the government was going to tell them the truth. That's the funniest part of this whole thing. They really thought Trump was going to tell them the truth. Cool. Let's read. President Trump's Justice Department and FBI have concluded they have no evidence that convicted SO and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was deleted, according to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios. The administration is releasing a video in both raw and enhanced versions that it says indicates no one entered the area of the Manhattan prison where Epstein was held the night he went to the upper room in 2019. The video supports a medical examiner's finding that Epstein committed self-deletion, the two-page memo claims. Why it matters. The findings represent the first time the Trump administration has officially contradicted conspiracy theories about Epstein's activities and his deletion, theories that had been pushed by the FBI's top two officials before Trump appointed them to the Bureau. As social media influencers and activists, got them. I just want y'all to understand what Axios just did. They just outed two people that they were sitting there championing to get confirmed. Well, more Cash than Dan. To get confirmed because they were going to bring them the truth. Just told them that Trump hired social media influencers to deal with government problems. Ooh, this is not good. As social media influencers and activists, Kash Patel, now the FBI's director, and Dan Bongino, now deputy director, were among those in MAGA world who questioned the official version of how Epstein was deleted. Patel and Bongino have since said Epstein committed self-deletion, but it has become an article of faith online, especially on the right, that Epstein's crimes also implicated government officials, celebrities, and business leaders, and that someone deleted him to conceal them. The memo says no one involved in the Epstein case will be charged. Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell serving a 20-year sentence for CST and related offenses. Now, these are federal crimes. I wonder if she's going to get a pardon next year. We should ask that question and keep that question alive. The first available time Trump can do it. Let's see if he gives Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon. According to the memo, now I don't know why it's not working here, but we do have the memo. According to the memo, investigators closely examined footage of Epstein's Manhattan prison between 10:40 p.m. on August 9, 2019, where Epstein was locked in his cell, and around 6:30 a.m. the next day when he was found unresponsive. The footage, which was reviewed by Axios but couldn't be verified independently, showed no one entering the area, the administration said. The FBI enhanced the relevant footage by increasing its contrast, balancing the color, and improving its sharpness for greater clarity and viewability, the memo says. So they played with the knobs on the TV. But all right. Investigators found no incriminating client list of Epstein's, no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals, and no evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties, the memo adds. Zoom out. As MAGA influencers, they did it again. Patel and Bongino have been among the loudest voices touting Epstein conspiracy theories. Since joining the government as Trump appointees, they've been more measured in talking about the Epstein investigation and throwing cold water on the notion that he was deleted. He offed himself, Bongino said on Fox News in May. I've seen the whole file. We love it. MAGA's media universe and some of its voices on Capitol Hill have expressed frustration with the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein case since February, where DOJ released a tranche of Epstein-related files that were already publicly available. And y'all fell for this grift. That was a hilarious day. They literally put out stuff that they had circulated for years. Conservative figures panned the disclosure, saying it lacked new evidence. Well, no kidding. This is not what we or the American people asked for, and a complete disappointment. Representative Anna Paulina Luna out of Florida, Republican, posted then, get us the information we asked for. Okay. And you got it on July 6, 2025, and they told you sit down. The intrigue. When Elon Musk had a falling out with Trump last month, Musk accused the president of being in the Epstein files. Trump posted on Truth Social a statement from former Epstein lawyer David Schoen saying Trump wasn't implicated in any crime. Schoen had also represented Trump in his first impeachment trial. Musk later deleted his accusation. Other posts on X say he went too far. Still, questions about whether Trump's name is in the government's Epstein files have persisted because they had been acquaintances who attended the same parties in the 1990s. In the 2017 interview with author Michael Wolff, Epstein even claimed that at one point he was Donald Trump's closest friend. Trump, however, said in 2019 that he was not a fan of Epstein and hadn't spoken to him for 15 years. He also said he had borrowed Epstein from his golf resorts in the early 2000s. Democrats, meanwhile, have demanded to know more about the Epstein-Trump relationship. What's next? The DOJ and FBI say in the memo that no further disclosure of Epstein-related material would be appropriate or warranted. I wonder if MAGA is going to run around and ask for a FOIA request. I wonder if they're going to do that en masse. And if they do, I wonder if the government is going to honor it. Let's see. The memo says much of the material relates to CSA, details of Epstein's victims, and information that would expose innocent individuals to allegations of wrongdoing. They're actually following the law for once. Let me be quiet. Through this review, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of Child P. CP, because I know that just sounded wrong. The memo says. But like I say, we have the memo. Where is it? No, that's about Lake Lanier. It's some shit. I think I just deleted the page. God damn it. Damn. Wait, it might be this one. No. Damn. Or was it on X? Let me see. Yes, here it is. Now, it's kind of, I don't know, this was a bad screenshot, but I'm going to try. Okay, it says, as part of our commitment to transparency, the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have conducted an exhaustive review of investigative holdings relating to Jeffrey Epstein. To ensure that the review was thorough, the FBI conducted digital searches of its databases, hard drives, and network drives, as well as physical searches of squad areas, locked cabinets, desks, closets, and other areas where responsive material may have been stored. These searches uncovered a significant amount of material, including more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence. The files relating to Epstein include a large volume of images of Epstein, images and videos of victims who are either minors or appear to be minors, and over 10,000 downloaded videos and images of illegal CSA material and other graphic content. Teams of agents, analysts, attorneys, and privacy and civil liberty experts comb through the digital and documentary evidence with the aim of providing as much information as possible to the public while simultaneously protecting victims. Much of the material is subject to court-ordered sealing. Only a fraction of this material would have been aired publicly had Epstein gone to trial, as the seal served only to protect victims and did not expose any additional third parties to allegations of illegal wrongdoing. Through this review, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of CP. Okay, that's fair. This systemic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Consistent with prior disclosures, the review confirmed that Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. Each suffered unique trauma. Sensitive information relating to these victims is intertwined through the materials. This includes specific details such as victim names and likenesses, physical descriptions, places of birth, associates, and employment history. One of our highest priorities is combating CE and bringing justice to victims. Perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those ends. To the end, while we have labored to provide the public with maximum information regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in the government's possession, it is the determination of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. After a thorough investigation, FBI investigators concluded that Jeffrey Epstein committed self-deletion in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City on August 10, 2019. This conclusion is consistent with previous findings, including the August 19, 2019 autopsy findings of the New York City Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, the November 19th position of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York in connection with the investigation of federal correctional officers responsible for guarding Epstein, and the June 2023 conclusion of DOJ's Office of the Inspector General. The conclusion that Epstein died by suicide is further supported by video footage from the common area of the Special Housing Unit, or SHU, where Epstein was housed at the time of his deletion. As DOJ's Inspector General explained in 2023, anyone entering or attempting to enter the tier where Epstein's cell was located from the SHU common area would have been captured by this footage. The FBI's independent review of this footage confirmed that from the time Epstein was locked in his cell around 10:40 p.m. on August 9, 2019, until around 6:30 a.m. the next morning, nobody entered any of the tiers in the SHU. During this review, the FBI enhanced the relevant footage by increasing its contrast, balancing the color, and improvising its sharpness for greater clarity and viewability. The full raw and enhanced videos are available at the following links. Now, here's my question. Do you think we get in trouble if we show these videos? I feel like we get in trouble. I'm going to let y'all decide tonight. Should we go get these videos and watch it, or should we just leave it alone and just go laugh at MAGA having meltdowns over this? So 1, for the video. 2, we just go laugh at meltdowns. I'll let y'all decide. While I still laugh at MAGA thinking that the government was going to tell them the truth. Their Lord and Savior, their King, was going to tell them the truth. Because we can count on one hand how many times a king or a monarch has told their people the truth. I see a couple twos. I see 3 twos. Sounds like I'm going to be looking at these videos later and I might just laugh at them again. Hacksign wants to see the video. DSA say he want to laugh at MAGA. All right, it look like we're going to laugh at MAGA, which is fine. That's always funny. It's time to terrorize MAGA. I think I'm going to make a video drop for that. It's time to terrorize MAGA. So let's start with where I saw this. So this is Nick Sorter. Now, he's been on Tim Cass. He's a whole MAGA show, but, you know, it's cool. He's up for examination right now. He put breaking. The FBI DOJ have determined there is no evidence Jeffrey Epstein had a client list, blackmail powerful people, or was deleted per Axios. Wow. I just let that sink into your mind before we start to laughing, because these meltdowns were oh so glorious. They were so glorious. I'm gonna give you an analogy of how glorious they were. No, actually, we're gonna call this a metaphor. It's like finding out somebody brought macaroni and cheese to the cookout and you found out that it was made with Cheese Whiz. And I'm talking about the one in the can. And you get that satisfying feeling of throwing it out and then blaming the dog for knocking over the table. But everything else is intact, but it's just their stuff fell on the floor, so you had to get rid of it. Here we go. Yeah, the deep state bought out Cash Bongino and Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi went from they're on my desk to they never existed. We say it again. Trump has a DEI cabinet. And y'all fell for it again. Y'all accepted DEI and didn't even realize it. I bet you realize it now. Let me see Trump's statement on this on True Social, since he wants to talk about everybody else and everything else this weekend. Let me see him come out with a statement on this. Matter of fact, we could actually check that real fast. We could check that. Let's see. This is what he wrote 2 hours ago. God bless all the people who have gone through so much, and God bless the state of Texas. Okay. And then he said something about Elon Musk. Notice nothing. Nothing. Huh. Now, I understand what's going on in Texas is a little bit more important. But I'm surprised he ain't say something. You know, they telling me that this man be up all hours of the night and wake up at 4 a.m. I'm just saying. I'm surprised he ain't got nothing to say. You know, maybe later. He is the only one on True Social. There's a better scammers all over there, but it's all right. Let's see. Jermaine Watson. Now, let's see who you are. That is a weird picture, boy. All right. I helped Trump get elected by getting a community to send 6,453 letters to suburban Pennsylvania. Okay. Sure. Yeah, the deep state bought out Cash Bongino and Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi went from they're on my desk to they never existed. But y'all accepted it. Let's see. Trump is protecting his friends. Grok, explain why Elon Musk, someone with arguably more access to the president and government documents, stated Trump was on the list. Seems counterintuitive because he was. His name was on there. What have you been looking at? We already saw his name on the list, my guy. But, you know, whatever. Well, what a relief. Thanks for clearing that up. Cash and Pam. Okay. What they mean is that powerful people have dictated that no powerful people were on the list and they were blackmailed. Got it. We got played. Soros boy advising on finances, Mossad controlling our State Department, Trump on a spending spree, Trump backing neocons and taking down fiscally responsible conservatives, Trump backing that rat Johnson. But y'all accepted it. Let me see. You might not be a Trump supporter. Let's look. You might not be. Let me see what you say on MAGA. Or we'll do Trump. We'll make it easy. Let's see. Huh. There's nothing on Trump. Unless these are retweets. Wait a minute. This might be your old account. This could be your old account. I don't know. I don't know why this account came up, but whatever. But y'all, we're cool with this. Who they gonna blame now? Torian, that's a great question. Black people. Pam Bondi, oh thank God. Did they send in Santa's little helpers to confirm everything? If this is legit, it's a sad day for justice. Tagging Cash. I love our president, but I think Trump was on that list along with other well-known people we already know. Why else would they try so hard to cover it up? So let me get this right. So you knew there might have been a possibility he's on this list. You knew this was an area of contention with you guys, and you still voted for him. Interesting. You like it. My wife just gave me warm oatmeal raisin cookies. I'm going to eat this while laughing at MAGA. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to her cookies. You heard what I said? Why you kicking around, jury?
Sorry.
All right. Okay. Is Dan Bongino going to start crying and tell us how he gave up everything again? Yes, including the young girlfriend. What's the matter, MAGA? We put your bat signal in the description box. Y'all are usually in here. Why y'all so quiet? Come defend this. Come on. Y'all want to defend that man on everything. Come defend this. If you don't think Elon Musk has information that none of us have about Epstein Island, brush the wool away from your eyes. Elon could do something so gangster tomorrow morning. He could drop screenshots of Epstein stuff and dare them to come get him. Well, I got something to say about Jacob Fatu, and I'm going to lose some friends in the wrestling community, but we're not accepting what he did. And Rikishi knows better. We can't be selective with safeguarding the N-word. Just because Samoans are thought to be black people. You can't allow that. Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, you have got to be kidding. You both need to resign immediately. Trump, if they don't, please fire them. This is an absolute disgrace. Maxwell went to jail for this, and now you're saying there are no clients, no victims? That's not what they said. See, I know they didn't read. They said there's no client list. They didn't say there was no victims. Lord. Reading comprehension escapes these people, but, you know. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. I have to fix something real fast on this. And make sure you share this out, because yeah, Ain't no reason why the people that follow you shouldn't be able to laugh at MAGA. All right, here we go. So who were those girls tea to then? Is our government really this corrupt? The answer is yes. Cash and Bongino better have some backup plans for after 2028 because no one's going to see them as reliable sources ever again. Okay, but y'all were cool with them. See, you can't get mad at them after the fact because check this out. Y'all was sitting there championing these names. When people gave you their reservations about them, you told us to shut up and accept it. Trump knows what he's doing. Sucks to be you. We continue. Do you believe this? Evan Kilgore. You ain't got nothing to say, Evan? Do I believe this? Should we click yes? I'm going to think about it. Why make such a big deal out of the files for years? They all saw the content. It makes zero sense. Because they gave y'all chum because they know you're stupid. Since I got to answer it for them. MAGA is full of people that see something shiny in their face. And they get to hold it for 30 seconds and think that they're rich. Oh, Donnie, good evening. I know he on that list. And he was probably egregious. And he said, I can't have that come outside. By the way, they should have known something was going to happen like this because where are these JFK files? Where are the 9/11 files? This is the second time now he said he was going to declassify. Where are these files? Yeah, right. And Michael Jordan doesn't have fake stats. What? Shout out to Torian. How did black people get into this? Baby, they found some way to shoehorn black people into this. He brought up Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. What does that have to do with this? What does that have to do with Epstein? There it is right there. We go blow it up for y'all. There it is. How did black people get into this? I'm finna ask them. Serious question. How do you shoehorn black people into this conversation? How do you shoehorn two basketball legends who are black into this conversation? I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to be verified. Israel is not getting my license willingly. That's cute. I like how they think we are stupid. Torian, you want to say it? Any one of y'all want to say it? She said, I like how they think we are stupid. What did Trump say about his base? We know the motto. The foundation of everybody's grift is the degradation of black people, especially black Americans. But they tell you they don't think about black people. That or they just don't give a F because they know everyone will just move on. No, I'm going to tell you why MAGA is really pissed at this when we finish laughing at him. That's a good one, Wallow J. That's correct. Safe and stupid. DC's compromised beyond hope. How disgraceful. And you elected your favorite, your king, to go back there and clean it up. But your king lost his kingdom and thought he was going to rise back to power. Because that's always worked. Why is Cash absolutely ruining his entire career and reputation over this? Trump too. Because y'all don't care. Who voted for this? Sure. And that's why he then committed self-deletion. It's also being reported by Axios. They aren't exactly trustworthy. Here we go. Told you. Now they're not trustworthy. You mean the same Axios that built their story around this? Ah. Official letterheads, by the way. Official. Damn, these cookies are good. Interesting. MAGA, y'all real quiet on the Sunday. You must be talking to Jesus. Thank you, True Social bot account, for letting me know the verifiably accurate news outlet isn't trustworthy. Right. Okay. We'll give the person a like for putting this up. What else we got? BS, they have been captured by the deep state. And you willingly asked Trump to put them in that firing line. I just want y'all to understand that. They have all been told what will happen if they don't follow orders and shut that down. So aggravating. Can't never take accountability. I'm just sitting here eating cookies, so unstressed, because I didn't vote for this. And I didn't vote for the alternative. Or the other four. And it goes on and on. They're going in. And that's just the regulars. Let's look at them quotes. They go Orange Schroyer, but of course, this account's kind of cool. Uneffing believable. Bondi says she had the Epstein client list on her desk. The DOJ lied to you. The influencers with the binders lied to you. And y'all accepted that. I just want y'all to understand, when that picture came out with the binders, y'all accepted that. Y'all accepted Jack Posobiec looking like an idiot doing a selfie with a white binder. Like he knew something. Now what? What was in that white binder? We saw the contents. There was nothing in there. Remember I made that joke, said it looked like the Jay-Z file in that video with R. Kelly? Guilty until proven innocent. Somebody actually recirculated that picture around. It was actually funny to watch it again. Got everybody in there. Liz Wheeler, her racist ass. What a time. They're still lying to you. So the real question is, who are these people with so much power that they orchestrated this cover-up? I thought it was a deep state. Many of you are losing your ish over a report from Axios. Truly amazing how you can all call mainstream media fake news while simultaneously believing a BS report from Axios. Should we do it to him? I feel like this frog fool, I think we should just do it to him. I think so. I think we're going to do it. You know what? We'll make it easier for him. We'll link him. Because I love how the frog fools don't get this. That's just a frog fool. We'd be nice for the frog fools before we cook them in the pan. So how did Maxwell get convicted of ST if there were no clients? I guess they haven't watched a lot of crime dramas. There's always a fall person. Why is what's her name in prison? Now you see what they're doing. They've been psyoped into calling for Ghislaine Maxwell to get a pardon. First time in recorded history that two people actually were arrested for teeing to check notes no one. They think we're stupid. Are they right? Yes. You guys are dumb. I quit. Complete BS and we know it. You quit. Christian conservative. Look at this. A Korean conservative. Korean American conservative. A little stabby. I don't even know what that means. Anti-woke. Okay. All right, lady. There's my tweet. Yeah. Y'all really thought Trump was going to tell y'all the truth. Never trust your government. Wait a minute. You wrote never trust your government. But you work for Trump. So we shouldn't trust you. You government. Nasty work. Most transparent president in history. Uh-oh. So does that mean Lady Diddy gets released? Say it. They're not gonna hold Trump accountable on this. They're gonna blame Cash. I wonder if they're gonna ask Cash to be deported. I wonder if he's gonna be the goatee version of Vivek Ramaswamy. I wonder. I told y'all MAGA don't like women. I might do a video on that. Why MAGA hates women. No one believes that Epstein had no list. But if Trump says there was no list, y'all gonna be like, yeah, you right. There was no list. Hey, Arlene, MAGA took an L tonight, but that's all right. So this is 2 L's in the span of 3 days. The L with the budget reconciliation that Congress voted on, that he signed into law on Friday, and now this. L's. They're obviously rolling with this bogus claim because Epstein implicates Israel. That's the long and short of why. Now we're going to blame Israel. How does the Epstein list blaming Israel affect us? This is what I want to know. Because if we're going to go down that road, that means you have to implicate Trump too, because he's giving Israel money. So is that what so you're telling me that the Epstein list, the reason Israel got all those billions of dollars was because of the Epstein list? That's what we're doing? Okay. Say less. Okay. Play the Jews. Wait until Ghislaine Maxwell gets released. And they're going to have her at the... Bruh. Trump's going to take a picture with that chick again, just to troll y'all in y'all face. My theory is I think he's turning back into a Democrat. That's my theory. I think after he loses the midterms, because you know how he likes to endorse candidates, he's gonna turn into a Democrat. And he's gonna be sitting there talking about, I need to work with Democrats. He's gonna be talking less and less to the Republicans, because MAGA at that point will be dead. Plus, he needs to get the crime bill passed anyway before he leaves. That's going to be his legacy. The Trump crime bill. TCB, the Taking Care of Business Act. So if he pulls that grift and calls it that, you know where you got it first. The Taking Care of Business Act. F your BS. Resign Pam Bondi. Mossad has a client list. Blame Jews again. So there were no files on Bondi's death, even though she said so, and Trump said he would release the files to the public, and if files didn't exist, why didn't Epstein delete himself? Why did Epstein delete himself? By the way, guess who else said something? That's right. Siamese Coon said something. Oh, they full hot. So Epstein just ST kids to nobody? Ghislaine Maxwell was in prison for 20 years for STing kids with Epstein. And the DOJ and FBI just said that there's no client list. He didn't blackmail nobody. Nobody else is getting charged. So they ST kids to nobody. Rent must be due. Look at this. 3 tweets in the span of an hour. There must be a record for him. Oh my God. Debbie, what do you mean why didn't Biden release him? You really didn't ask that question, did you? And good evening. You didn't address the room, but okay. Because he didn't campaign on releasing that. Maybe I missed it. We watched the 2020 cycle on this side. He never mentioned Epstein one time. So why would he release it? Debbie, it's not good to ask the same question twice. We just gave you the answer. That wasn't his prerogative. You said if Trump was involved, Biden would have released it during the election. Okay, well, he dropped out of the election, remember? So why didn't Kamala Harris release it? She's a lawyer. She could have had access. Why didn't she release it? And you still asking that question, and you should know you don't trust your government, but you got it. Well, man, they already have documented proof Trump was around this man. MAGA, see, this is what y'all don't get. MAGA already resigned to the fact that Trump was around him. They accepted it. They can't come back now and be pissed off. That's why we're laughing at them for real. We're laughing at their hypocrisy. Right. Terrible times. That's correct. And guess what? MAGA don't care about that. Right. Trump helped them get convicted in Florida. Great. And here we are 6 years later. And his people that he put in there and told the Senate to confirm just that there's nothing there. So get over it and move on with your lives. Now, who are you going to blame for that? Let's see. Who else? Let me see if Pancake Critter says something. Because Pancake Critter do everything Trump say. FBI already said there's nothing there. So stop talking about the FBI. Okay, so his last tweet was 5 hours ago. So he ain't saying nothing yet. Maybe he'll say something in the middle of the night because he can't sleep again. The old Coonster is probably going to have a field day with this tomorrow. Where's MAGA on this? Come on. Where's Larry Elder? He a lawyer. Why he should be outside saying there's nothing. No Epstein list. Everyone, look, they're trying to spin it. Look at them. They're trying to spin it now. Now they're trying to spin it. Daniel, why do y'all want Pam Bondi anywhere near this? She just helped them say there was no client list. Why do you want her around? And number two, Gray Judd not stupid enough to go to Washington. He's a celebrity in Florida. Look how they're spinning it. Let me see. It might be a troll account. Okay, whatever. For 4 years while Joe Biden was president, all we heard was release the Epstein files over and over again by MAGA. Donald Trump has been the president for going on 6 months now. No Epstein files, and MAGA no longer cares. Well, they care today. MAGA are now defending Jeffrey Epstein. They're former Democrats. Where's the TDS, sir? We're just laughing at the fact that Trump's Justice Department said there's nothing with Epstein. So how's that TDS? We're laughing. But all right. Great. He got money from ABC and CBS. So what? Where's all your taxpayer money? Why aren't y'all demanding your tax money back from this sham of an investigation? That's what I want to know. They want Ghislaine Maxwell to be pardoned. So MAGA is now admitting everything they said about Epstein, and unless the Democrats, which Pam effing Bondi promised to release, was total BS, or they're covering it all up because Trump's name was all over the list. What do you mean? Oh my God, Debbie, what do you mean the Biden administration wiped the files? So what were they looking at since Cash got there? What were they looking at? Oh, so according to Debbie, since she has insider knowledge, right? Cash, Pam, and Dan, along with everybody involved, they basically wasted time and didn't look at nothing and just said they were looking at hundreds of thousands of downloaded images and videos. Okay. Sure. Why don't you just say it with me, Debbie? You can't trust the government. Say it with us. You can't trust the government.
You can't trust the government.
Thank you, and that's a 6-year-old. The fact y'all thought this was gonna be some boon to MAGA should tell you everything. Debbie, they did release stuff when Ghislaine got convicted. That's what they convicted her on. The same stuff that they released online. But again, y'all didn't. All right, Daniel, I'm glad you got that out of your system and we could help you. Now you get to go say that behind closed doors. Because I don't know what you're telling. Correct, Debbie, but you just sat up in here with us and told us that we should be able to give Trump a pass because Biden didn't do anything. So you can't tell us you could trust the government. Can't do both. We really don't hate the government enough. Come over to our side. You'll feel better. WTF, we all know there is a list. Okay. Go fill out, like I said earlier, an FOIA request. Go get that list. Put it on your social media. Let me see how far you get. There it is. The Epstein Files Phase 1. Ain't nothing in there except the stuff they already released. Where is Phase 2? Go ahead, DC Drano. You piece of crap, you. I wonder how you feel. Now you officially the op. Is this injustice, DC Drano? Here we go. I went to the White House and asked about releasing the Epstein files a couple months ago. I think it's long overdue that it starts happening. We want files released and P's arrested. Anything less is an injustice. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And you sat there like a fool thinking they were going to listen to you. Where is your yeah, where's your statement? Come on. Look at this. This is who they ran to for information. Charlie Kirk's people. Oh, Debbie's still upset. Again, that wasn't her prerogative, Debbie. And I ain't a Democrat, because I know that's where you're going to go next. That wasn't her prerogative. She wasn't concerned about the Epstein list. Y'all were. Did your man not run on releasing classified documents so the public can know? The most transparent administration, right? He wanted to overdo what Biden did. We ain't get nothing. I need y'all to keep up. No, Admiral, the point is she wants me to go sit up there and blame Biden and them for not releasing the Epstein files. Because we all know Biden would have just released Trump stuff. Would have been nobody else. Anybody that was connected to conservatives would have been out and about in the public eye. Nobody that was liberal or Democrat would have been implicated. And then MAGA would have been sitting up there talking about, oh, you selectively putting out people to make Trump look bad. Okay, he didn't do it. Why didn't Trump do it the first day? That's all I want to know. Why didn't he do it? He the one that said, I'm going to release the Epstein files. I'm going to release the JFK files. I'm going to release the 9/11 file. Why didn't he do it? He disavowed that man. Why didn't he do it? He looked like he just came out of being held hostage. Yes, Brandon G. If Biden would have done that, no Democrat would have been implicated. That's correct. You know what they would have done on the left. They would have released anybody that was connected to Trump or left or right-leaning. You know that. We just seen names like James Woods and Kevin Sorbo and Roseanne in them. We wouldn't have seen all them Hollywood celebrities name on there. Hell no, we wouldn't have. And MAGA would have still been talking about it 2 years later. Everybody on that list. Politicians on that list. Government leaders are on that list. International dignitaries are on that list. Celebrities are on that list. Ain't nobody finna come outside and say, hey, here's the whole list. Do what you want. Knock it off. But I just want y'all to understand, they celebrated this that day. Look at these fools. Look at Drain Cleaner right here. Look at him. I think that's Scott Pressler. They go Liz Wheeler from that was formerly on OAN. That racist. Look at this. They go Posobiec. Losers. Well, Admiral, that leak, we saw that list years ago. You were like, okay, you got Chris Tucker on there, you got Will Smith name on there. Okay, y'all ain't doing nothing with it, so whatever. Look at this. This is back to school shopping. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna take this picture out. Wait, let me show you a clear one. They're gonna take this out from underneath the plastic. They're gonna take all them pages out, and they finna get it to their kids first day of school. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh yeah, we had a whole bunch of celebrities on there. We're like, okay. And we live in such a decadent society, nobody cared. They still went to go see their movies and consume their products. Let's see. I need the Epstein list because I want to. Yeah, right. Be honest. I am being honest. I need the Epstein list because I want to own the libs. There you go. They want MAGA, and that's what I said earlier. I'm going to tell you the real reason why MAGA is upset. Because they wanted a whole bunch of celebrities that they could go troll. They were going to run to their Instagrams, whoever's still here on X. They were going to run to their YouTube pages because some of them kind of put content up there now and again. Facebook, whatever. They're going to go try to find out where they are, act like TMZ and harass them so they can get viral hits. And now they've been denied that. They want to be the new celebrity class. That's why I have a saying on here. They don't want to save the country. They just want to be celebrities. Those pages were blank. Wait, what is it? Happy 18-week anniversary to those who celebrate. My favorite part of this is DC Drano's unmatched confidence holding a binder of publicly available court documents. First off, you don't speak for 250 million Americans. Watch your mouth. You speak for the binder people. That's what you speak for. Facts. Let me look. Let me see if DC Drano's on over here. Let me see. He is. Look at him. Let me see. What did he put? When's the last time he posted something? 10 hours ago. So you just reposted stuff you put on X. All right. You know what? I almost want to troll him right now. I'm finna troll him. I'm gonna troll him. Let's see. I forgot how you write. Don't this look like? Hold on. Let me show y'all something. Don't this look like Twitter? You got the compose button here. It looked just like Twitter. Yeah, Trump is so original. Anyway, let's troll him real fast. Let's do this. You thought Trump was going to tell you the truth about Epstein? Oh. That's hilarious. All right, what else? Let me see, and then I'm up out of here. This is why I should put my trust in no one but Jesus. Well, Jesus wouldn't even release that list. Maybe Trump will tell us that Jesus told him not to do it. You know, he a Protestant and all that. Look at this. This is sad. They are crashing out. Where's that Axios one? Okay, so here it is. We always said Epstein was working alone, not blackmailing anyone, and definitely off himself. That's a list of everybody that said that. So here's the question, MAGA. Are you going to cancel all these people or not? You got Laura Loomer there. Who else? Leo Terrell. Forgio Blow, whatever the hell his name is. Charlie Koch. Steve Bannon. You're gonna cancel the redheaded libertarian? No, of course you're not. Of course you're not. Gotta reinforce it. Look, he. Look at this. Shout out to my brother Jeff. I'm absolutely shocked that the government will come to this conclusion. After all, they promised to release this information, right? They couldn't have possibly lied, right? Right? Shout out to brother Jeff Charles. Uh-huh.
They're out there labeling parents domestic terrorists.
Uh-huh.
They're saying nothing about this, and these documents were so slow to come out.
Right.
Human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar business in this country,
Mm-hmm.
and Jeffrey Epstein is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years, where
She'll get a party next year.
People in that report are still fighting to keep their names private. Sean, they have no legal basis to do so unless they're a child, a victim, or a cooperating defendant by some chance against a potential case against Ghislaine Maxwell. And I think Mark Garagos, as a great criminal defense attorney, will back that up as well.
They don't want to save the country. They just want to be celebrities. Ooh, here's the video. There's nothing there. This was, well, first off, Eric, you played an hour before they said. So, okay. I see what you did, though. Again, that's the statement from the DOJ and the FBI. Suburban black man with an AI picture of a Trump hat. Okay. If the Epstein client list is non-existent like Axios is reporting, then what has been sitting on Pam Bosley's desk this entire time? It's called a grift. That's what's sitting on her desk, the grift. The grift is undefeated like karma. And when the grift and karma meet, it will be the end of the world as we know it. There it is. The first comment. I tell you, I'm never deleting this app. Trump's name a Supreme Court justice? Your guess is as good as mine. All the BA phony evidence, or maybe it's BS, phony evidence they tried to generate to create a fake scandal to embarrass the Trump administration as they chased the red herring. Ask yourself, how is it we were all certain this information exists? Who has been telling us the information exists since like 2018 or 19 or whatever? Have any of these organizations or people flat out lied to us about, say, maybe a president being a vegetable? Maybe the people who were sitting on that information, the SDNY and all the other people, to help perpetrate to the Russian collusion hoax. I got a feeling when Cash said that they found stuff, but not what we thought, it was an unintentional hit. Okay. This is utter BS. Something very fishy is going on. I was going to say something wrong, but I'm going to let her live tonight. Trump's order to gaslight the American people. Where are the signatures? Why did they need a signature? Why did they need a signature? This wasn't a personal statement from Cash or Dan or Pam. Why did they need that? This is on behalf of the DOJ and the FBI. They said likely fake news, but none of them came outside and said that this was fake. Okay. A public smear campaign design. Here we go. That's fine, terrible times. But this is why I say you got to listen to them when they talk. If they were threatened into silence, why would you say that you're going to release these files? I think the victim should take paramount over somebody threatening somebody. I'm just saying. Trump is really about helping America. Kill this saga. Release it. Let me see. They have a whole room on this. Look at this. All right, real quick. We'll listen to what these people are trying to say. Why can't I? Where's the? Let's see.
I'm kind of flying blind here.
Brock, can you tell us the validity of the Epstein memo that was just
Oh my God.
Brock, can you tell us the validity of the DOJ supposed Epstein memo that was just released tonight?
I thought Grok was woke.
Valid sources.
Based on posts found on X and some quick web checks, the DOJ and FBI's joint memo on Jeffrey Epstein, reported tonight, claims there's no credible evidence he blackmailed prominent individuals, had a client list, or was murdered. Axios and other outlets are citing it, but skepticism's running high. Users on X are calling it a convenient shutdown and propaganda, pointing to years of withheld documents like flight logs and contact books. No primary source of the memo itself is public yet.
Oh God.
It's hard to verify its authenticity.
They're asking the AI.
In an attempt to verify its authenticity.
What?
All right. Diving deeper into the DOJ and FBI joint memo on Jeffrey Epstein reported tonight. Based on posts on X and web sources, here's what I've got. The memo, cited by outlets like Axios, claims no credible evidence exists that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals, had a client list, or was murdered. However, several red flags raise doubts about its authenticity. Users on X point out it lacks a date, page numbers, signatures, and consistent formatting.
Oh my God. They're really doing this.
The seals on the memo are misaligned, and the font looks off, with some calling it a sans serif mismatch compared to standard government memos. Critically, there's no trace of this memo on the DOJ or FBI's official website.
Why would they put it on there?
Its legitimacy.
Brock, are you able to find an image of the
Oh my God.
memo
I can't believe they're doing
to
this.
verify the inconsistencies yourself?
So wait.
I can't directly
Wait. So they're saying it's fake, yet they have the link to the video where you click. Never mind. Now it's fake.
Supposed DOJ and FBI joint memo on Jeffrey Epstein.
I'll upload the memo into you, Grok, and then I'll let you analyze it yourself. Let's go to the hands. Go ahead.
I can't believe this. I can't believe
My
this.
eyes, I apologize.
You're right. The memo, the link to the memo from the Axios article is gone.
Guys, Axios is not a reliable source.
Now it's not reliable.
In 2020 and in 2016, they are not a reliable source. I would hold off until we get an actual statement from Cash. And right now, Cash has so much egg on his face over this. He needs to come out immediately and either verify the memo or...
Ma'am, he already went on Fox News and said there was nothing there. Why would you think he's going to lie? Oh, Lord. For those who don't know, Cash and Dan already went on TV and said there was nothing there. So you're telling me somebody made up a fake memo 2 times to confirm what they said on Fox News months ago?
For you perverts thinking me saying I'll upload it into you, Grok, there is There's nothing dirty.
Pause.
I don't think anyone would have thought it was dirty.
You lucky I'm not on the stage. I would have yelled out pause.
That they thought it was dirty.
The comments said that it was a sexual move.
Yeah, well, given the topic of the space, I'm going to not go down that path.
Oh my
Well, you
God.
could ask Rock if she thinks it was.
So anyways,
In unhinged mode.
Oh my God.
oh, man.
Yes, this is the next space.
You know,
With the document, and I'll analyze it for authenticity once you've sent it over. I'll check for stuff like formatting, seals, and fonts.
Oh my God. Okay, so they made it up. This is what I'm saying. So Axios made this up for what?
Hey, David, what is the, can I just ask David a question or should I shut up?
no, please keep talking.
Okay. David, for Axios, if this was a fake memo that they put out, is there any legal on that? Because, like, that's kind of a big thing to put out something under the DOJ like that.
Well, I don't, not unless you did it intentionally. I mean, if somebody gave it to them, they didn't validate the source.
I love how they're still missing that they confirmed there was nothing there.
I wouldn't imagine it would credibility. It would just hurt credibility.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're talking about like a libel lawsuit, they would have to have acted with essentially some sense of malice, technically, in order to hurt somebody in this particular. And then the question then would be who is the grief party and who would sue. So I don't know. I don't think so. I'd have to research it more. But I think this would just be a credibility issue more so than a libel one.
well, who would they be libeling?
That's what I'm saying.
Like I don't even know.
Well,
They didn't do anything liable.
An official document from the for the FBI or whoever, DOJ, right? Like, and making up an official document and putting it out as a real document, like, that just seems, I mean, at the least shady.
Well, I agree with David. I think they were probably leaked it and told it was real. I doubt Axios said, let's create a fake document on a Sunday night and you know what I mean?
Maybe they were leaked it on purpose.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying I don't think they created it to hurt somebody.
They're really trying to figure this out.
I mean,
Yeah, I can't.
it's Donald Trump.
Grok, are you able to analyze this
Look at this.
document as
Hold up.
from the DOJ?
They're
regarding
using.
the Epstein case?
Oh my God.
Look for inconsistencies that would refute it.
They're using Skynet to confirm something. This is hilarious.
Analyze it for authenticity. Based on what you've described, DOJ and FBI memo, Epstein case, released tonight. Here's the breakdown. The document claims a review of over 300 gigabytes of data.
Oh God.
Epstein's suicide on August 10th, 2019, with video evidence. It says no credible client list or blackmail evidence exists. First off, the lack of an official posting on DOJ or FBI websites is a red flag.
It's a Sunday.
Drop there first. Ex posts from tonight highlight inconsistencies. Seals are misaligned.
Oh my God.
Grok, I want you to scan the document that I already uploaded.
Look, even Skynet's not even listening to him now.
Do your own analysis.
Skynet's become self-aware.
All right, scanning the document you uploaded. Based on what I see, here are the potential inconsistencies that could question its authenticity.
Oh God.
DOJ and FBI memo. The document discusses a review of Jeffrey Epstein's case, mentioning gigabytes of data, his suicide on August 10th, 2019, and no evidence of a client list or blackmail.
Oh God.
First, the formatting. It lacks a visible date, page numbers, or official signatures. Which are
Why would they need signatures?
The seals for both agencies
Oh,
present,
no.
but I can't assess their alignment or clarity without a visual reference. Any slight offset could be a red flag, as government docs are meticulous about this. The font appears inconsistent, mixing what looks like Times New Roman.
What if Axios got a draft of it?
Typical for official memos that stick to one style, usually Times or Arial. There's also no letterhead with specific DOJ or FBI branding, like office addresses or contact details, which is odd for an official release. The language is formal but vague on specifics, like no mention of the exact office or task force authoring it, which memos usually include. An official DOJ or FBI source link or public release confirmation. These gaps, missing metadata, mixed fonts, no signatures, lean toward it being questionable. It doesn't align with standard government document protocols. So I'd say its authenticity is shaky.
What's November 6th?
If you've got more details, like a specific section you want me to zoom in on, let me know.
Sorry, what's November 6th? I don't know what that is.
A little bit better and see if they are offset or misaligned.
Oh, look who's in the room.
Got it. Focusing on the seals. From what you uploaded, if the DOJ and FBI seals are present, here's the deal. Official government memos have those seals perfectly aligned, usually centered or symmetrically placed at the top or bottom.
They're analyzing the fucking document. Oh my God.
It's a red flag, as federal agencies are obsessed.
These guys are losers.
Without seeing the image myself, I'm limited. But based on standard DOJ and FBI memo formats, any misalignment, say more than a millimeter or two, or if one seal looks stretched or pixelated compared to the other, screams potential fake. The DOJ seal should have the eagle and shield crisp, while the FBI's has the scales and stars.
Oh my
Both need to
God.
match official versions exactly. If you can confirm whether they're uneven or look off in placement, I can zero in further.
Did y'all forget this?
Seal positions, or if they seem distorted.
They're on the documents that I uploaded to you. Check them out yourself.
Did y'all forget this?
All right, reviewing the seals in the document you uploaded.
It literally says FBI bosses insist Jeffrey Epstein deleted himself after reviewing his file.
Typically side by side or stacked with equal spacing and crystal clear in resolution.
Oh God.
In this case, without visual access to confirm exact placement, I'm working off the description. If the seals
They're
are
really
offset,
sitting
say
here
one's higher or shorter
analyzing a
than the other,
document that was uploaded online.
Okay, that's good. Drop, thank you. So it looks like it sounds like from the formatting and everything else, the lack of a letterhead. I mean, it looks.
The letterhead was right there.
It was like a draft that got leaked in process. It seems.
Wow, and I figured that out before he did.
I mean, who changes fonts in the same letter?
Sir, it's a draft.
Who changes when you're typing something? Why would you even think to change fonts back and forth? I mean, that's just something.
Oh my, now we're gonna argue the font.
Unless you were copying and pasting it together
Yeah.
and you didn't
Yeah.
realize that it was a different font.
Yeah.
Myron, what's up? Are you gonna tell us that Trump's on the Epstein list and that's why it's not happening?
Oh Lord, here we go.
Because of the Jews or something. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He finna get rolled by some white folk again. Let's go.
Shit, did you? My bad, dude. I needed the space for a second. I'm on stream. What'd you say?
Oh, you're good. I was gonna tell you, Trump's meeting with Bibi Netanyahu. Do you think that's why this whole thing is blowing over tonight?
Oh God.
Well, look. So before I kind of go into this real quick, because I know there's a lot of people in here that probably don't know who I am. I just work for the government. I was a specialist with Homeland Security.
Oh my God. He darkened on himself.
Was 1811 for many years. So I'll kind of go through this real quick. We're never going to see the Epstein documents fully. And the reason why is because people need to understand that there's two different sides to this. There's a high side, then there's a criminal side. For the criminal case, I mean, we know that. Ghislaine Maxwell went to trial. All the evidence came out against her. Maureen, I think it was Comey's daughter, prosecuted the case, and she successfully, got a lot of the evidence in that case was, shown out publicly during the trial. So there's a criminal case, but I do think it's very important for people to understand that there's also a high side. And when I say high side, that's a term that's used in the intelligence community to describe things that are, typically classified or, not ever going to see the light of day in a courtroom or a public disclosure. And given the nature of who Epstein is, being an asset with the Mossad or Oman or whatever, a lot of people speculate that he's an asset for Israeli intelligence, one of the components.
Oh God.
More than likely, there's going to be a CIA file on him. There's going to be obviously an FBI file on him. There's going to be, NSA, DIA, all the intelligence components of the United States government. Right? We're talking like 20, 30 different agencies. So, it's not really up to Kash Patel and Bongino to declassify everything on Epstein because there's going to be multiple agencies that have documents on him that are classified. And the way that the government works is that it's extremely bureaucratic. So in other words, let's say I have a document that's a CIA document, right? And I work for the FBI. Well, if I want to go ahead and share that information or get it declassified, I need permission from the highest authorities over at the CIA to even share it with another agency with a clearance. So declassifying it is a whole other, can of worms. So again, The reason why we're not going to see these documents, at least the real stuff that we're actually looking for, the stuff that has to do with him being a spy or being an asset or whatever, is because more than likely all that stuff is classified, and multiple agencies have bits and pieces of the puzzle. The FBI just has some of the stuff, but they're not going to have everything.
Oh God.
The other reason why we're not going to see it is because a lot of people are probably alive. I mean, look at the Kennedy file. It took us decades to get that, and damn near everybody's dead, and we still don't have everything for it. So I'd be shocked.
Did he just contradict himself? So if everybody's dead, that should be more of an incentive to release the files.
If they actually release anything to do with Epstein, that would implicate Israeli intelligence, given the fact that they make.
Here we go. We're gonna blame Israel now. Here we go.
Question our alliance with Israel. So releasing those files right now would probably be the worst thing you can fucking do. So I'd be sure that kind of came into play as well with the declassification of these documents. Obviously, Pam Bondi's a retard and made this promise.
Didn't I tell you? They don't like women.
Yeah, we're gonna declassify all this stuff, not knowing what was.
Look, he over there giving them thumbs up. Boy.
But the reality is, I'm going to be very blunt with you guys. From my experience, dealing with classified documents, we're not going to see those for at least 50 years. 9/11 too. Not going to see those either.
What do you think about the video that was released tonight? There's a video, it's up in the Jumbotron, of the doorway to Epstein's cell that goes from, supposedly from the time he went in until, the morning time, and it shows no one going through. So it's supposed to be.
So there's the video.
Suicide. What do you think about that? There's a clip up there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know a lot of people like to harp on how he died.
Somebody moved the trash can.
I think
Who moved the trash can?
When he was actually alive and who he was working for. I think that the death thing is a little bit of a deflection. And keep in mind, that comes from the Bureau.
So who moved the trash can?
It's going to come from the DOJ, basically. So, that's what they can show. It's like, oh, look, he killed himself, or he, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day,
who the hell is that?
I think it's obviously, a component. But I'm more interested in what he did when he was actually alive, who he worked for.
Who's that?
Information for. I do have a good idea of what he was doing. And for those that aren't familiar with Epstein, I'll quickly summarize it.
That's a whole black man. What is going on?
And
they're going to blame him now. This black man finna get blamed for taking out Epstein.
He basically forced Bill Gates to pay on his behalf. And nobody really knows how he came into his money. We know that Lex Wexner was his main.
That's crazy.
Guy, which, it's always interesting how there was really never an investigation into him. Or John LeBron, who was the guy who basically, John DeLuc LeBron, I'm mispronouncing his name.
It's all right.
But that was basically a model recruiter, that he was the guy that was responsible for finding the women for Epstein's ring. And he not only did he get of age women because Lex Wexner owned Victoria's Secret. Basically, this is the way the scheme worked. Epstein and his girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, would show up at these parties.
I love how he knows everything.
Models that work for Victoria's Secret. So obviously, if you're the guy that brings women, they're like, oh, who the fuck is this guy, right? And, then they find out, oh, he's this billionaire. He has all this money. Oh, wow, okay, this guy's cool. Okay, social proof pass. And then next thing you know, hey, you should come party with me and Glenn. We got a jet. Come on, hang out, blah, blah, blah. Come down to West Palm Beach, house in New Mexico, house in New York City, house in France. Obviously, he's going to pass the social proof test. He shows up. Next thing you know, there's underage girls there. Because what people don't know is that while he was in West Palm Beach, his main place of operations, he had a bunch of high school girls that were at a local private school nearby that, he would recruit to become masseuses. And I say that with air quotes. And, they would give these rub and tugs and masseuse stuff and everything. And these were girls like 14, 15, 16. And what he did was he would pay one like $300-500 every time she did this. This was back in like 2006. Right? Good money for 15-year-old, right? And then he's like, hey, do you have any girls that you know that are that same age? And these girls are like, yeah, sure. And then they recruit their friends. And next thing you know, he has
Was that you said, Tori? He like Charmaine off a different world?
And he traveled with these girls to different places all across the country. That's how the feds were able to kind of come in and take it, as a federal case, because of the interstate transportation of the minors and, facilitate interstate.
So they got him but couldn't get Diddy, right? That's going to be the new conspiracy theory.
We basically compromised them. And then once they were compromised, hey, I need you to do me a favor. And like Bill Gates, for example, you would have Bill Gates spend a bunch of money and give money to MIT for their technology program. And what Epstein would do was he'd be overseeing these things, because obviously he's the donor, and he would take that technology and give it back to Israeli intelligence. For anyone that isn't familiar with the way Israeli intelligence works, they're notorious, absolutely notorious for stealing technology information from multiple different countries. It's actually one of like the backbones of their intelligence program. This is why their intelligence program is so good. is because Israelis, a lot of them some of them are Arab, some of them are white, some of them, are Ashkenazi, Sephardic, etc. So what they're able to do with the Mossad is they're able to basically go out to, in all these other countries and steal technology, and you wouldn't know because a lot of Mossad agents don't look like they're Jews or Israeli. They can literally blend in. So this is the backbone of their intelligence program. This is why they're so technically advanced. So this is what one of the things that Epstein did for them. And then back in 2006, when he actually did end up finally getting prosecuted for having this ring of young girls, he got a sweetheart deal. He basically got a state case. He was able to go to prison during the day, and he was able to go back to his nice, lavish house at night. And then I think it was Alex Acosta from that.
That's true. He was able to go there on the. Actually, he only went on the weekend when he was in Florida.
Yeah. So the.
And he had his own private wing of the prison.
Yeah. And the FBI out of West Palm Beach was actually investigating him, and they wanted to prosecute him, but
and they passed up on a prosecution.
Yeah, it was the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida. It was Acosta, and basically he declined the prosecution because he was told that he was intel and hands off. So I mean that in itself obviously is going to raise a lot of red flags, but that's basically how the Epstein ring worked, and the way he was able.
Can I ask you a question? I hate to cut you off. You're on for a while.
Yeah,
Oh Jesus!
Because I might answer your question here in a second. What I'm about to say.
I doubt it.
So the other thing too, also that's important, is that
He already got insulted.
Well, he would get invited to these parties because Ghislaine
Oh
Maxwell
no!
at the UN talking about the ocean.
Who said that?
Conserving the ocean, whatever. So what ended up happening is she became a socialite, and she was able to meet all these powerful people at the UN.
Why are you having to explain this to us? I think everybody
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Why is this woman speaking? I'm still
Why
talking.
are you speaking?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, what a dick. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. Here's again.
If you want to tie, we tie it into what we're talking about tonight with the so-called release.
Yeah, that's fine. But diligent, you gotta understand, bro. There's like 2,000 people in here. The speaker's cool. You guys get it. But there's thousands of people in here that don't know a lot of this information. They might not know the detail of the information.
They don't care about that, sir.
I mean, most of these people are my dedicated audience, and we've covered the Epstein files at nauseam together. I'm just trying to save everybody's time.
Facts.
And that's why I have a question specifically for you, Myron, about what you said.
Yeah, let him ask you a question, Myron. Let him ask you.
It significantly went up since I've come in here, and then we got this Jennifer Lawrence woman who's speaking like rudely. I don't even know.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I gotta clip this. I gotta clip this when this is over. Miss, you gotta go to bed. It's about to get real. It's bedtime. It's almost midnight. Let's go.
Go ahead.
You gotta go to bed.
Going up, but that's fine. We'll let a woman dictate how things go.
Shut the fuck up.
She did it again.
Who the fuck are you talking
You gotta go. Please, you gotta go. I need all this. You gotta go. Come on, go brush your teeth.
This has nothing to do with the topic.
Nothing to cut though. Go brush your teeth.
Yeah, the question I wanted to ask you, most of what you said there are things that I think anyone who's been following.
Please.
That's me a glitch. That's not me, it's me a glitch. And 3, 2, 1, go for it. Good luck. See me good now. Good luck.
I can't hear you. Now I got it.
Oh,
Okay, now I got it. I'm not going to hit you. Now I got it. Most of what you said there are things that I think anyone's following the Epstein case is already aware of. But I'm very curious about the part you introduced there, which is where you're able to narrow Epstein down to being either Mossad, Israeli,
I gotta clip this.
or codename Tel Aviv. Hey, Jaime. I'm wondering how you managed to do that.
Damn it.
CIA, FBI, MI6, or any other agencies which he reportedly had bases to have ties to, and you seem to be very, you seem to have a lot of inside information. You're talking as if, you're an expert in this area. I'm not questioning your expertise. I'm wondering, did you have direct contact with this, that you know that he was part of some Israeli intelligence specifically, or is it that you actually just are surmising that it's probably Zadus, and that would just be the best explanation for how he got away with it? Some of the Jews were Svengali, FBI, and Acosta, and that's what was going on here. Maybe I just want you to explain that to me.
Well, interesting. I like your condescending tone of asking the question, but I'll go ahead and entertain your stupid question, no problem.
Ooh.
You gotta understand, CIA and Mossad work very closely together. Our foreign policy is pretty much controlled by Israelis and Jews. I mean, if you don't want to concede to that, then you're just a fucking retard.
Here we go.
So hold on really quick, guys. So I looked it up because I was curious to see if there was something to that, because I had heard people talking about, okay, Epstein and Mossad, and I wanted to verify if there was actually anything
It's
to
Ghislaine
that.
Maxwell that has ties to Mossad.
Well, hold on. It was witness testimony in cases that where the witness was saying that Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein bragged to her that they were like working with Mossad, or he was with Mossad. And then there was another one where there was a intelligence guy who came out and also said something to the effect of Epstein having Mossad ties. So there was a couple different sources. So it's not like there's nothing to anchor that to. So I would just look into that.
Really, that's correct. I covered the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. I was at the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. There definitely was reference to the ties. There were definitely reference to the ties, the potential ties to Mossad, supposedly. There were also references that
You can cuss out my white woman.
when that trial was going on. Also, other ties related to Robert Maxwell and his potential connection to both MI6 and Mossad, and also CIA. And that's why I was asking Myron how it is that he's so definitively positive that obviously this is American
But
intelligence.
wait a second. No,
So
this is David, right? This is David who was just speaking.
Work closely with Israeli intel, that's why. And Robert Maxwell, by the way, just so you know, was literally involved in putting Mordecai Vanunu in jail for exposing the nuclear program that Israel illegally has, okay? So that is your connection right there, my friend. He went ahead and told the Mossad to put that Mordecai Vanunu had the pictures, the 50-plus pictures of the nuclear program out in Dimona, okay? And he got put in jail for that. And Robert Maxwell was the fucking guy that did it. So that's your connection right there, and that's Ghislaine Maxwell's dad.
So the one who ratted him out as far as connections to Mossad is the one who's has his daughter working with Mossad.
Well,
that's what you just said. I totally understood what you're saying clearly. You're saying that Robert Maxwell, because he basically exposed someone who was involved with Mossad, and ended up, you saying, go away because of some nefarious activity that Mossad was doing. Well, then clarify what you're saying, because that's what it came across as. So explain it.
Yeah, no, it's because you're not listening, because you're so triggered by what I'm saying here when I say that Israeli intelligence works alongside American intelligence, and this has been known for a very long time. It's very simple. Robert Maxwell ran a newspaper. Mordecai Vanunu went to that media company and said, look, I have pictures of Israel's illegal nuclear program. I want to go ahead and publish it with you guys. He owned that newspaper, he notified the Mossad. They kidnapped Mordecai Vanunu in Italy, and they used a honey trap female to get him there. And when they got him there, they kidnapped his ass and took him back to Israel, okay? This guy was an asset for the Mossad. Everyone knows this, okay? And obviously his daughter was Ghislaine Maxwell. You're telling me that there's not going to be a link there? There's a pretty solid link there.
Okay, that makes more sense, and that's more consistent with the reporting I saw. You're saying Robert Maxwell was working with the Mossad. He also was reportedly working with MI6. Am I mistaken in believing that MI6 works together with the CIA as well?
Brock, is there any evidence that Ghislaine Maxwell...
Wait, why didn't he answer that?
...associated with MI6, Mossad, or any other intelligence agencies?
Oh, God.
Disregard any biased opinion. Do your best to do your own research.
Now you're telling the AI what to do.
Yeah, there's solid evidence Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine's father, had ties to intelligence agencies, but it's murky and not airtight. Maxwell, a media mogul, was suspected by the UK Foreign Office of being a secret agent, possibly a double or triple agent, with known links to MI6, the Soviet KGB, and Israel's Mossad. His mysterious death in 1991, falling off his yacht, the Lady Ghislaine, sparked speculation, with some, like Seymour Hersh in his 1991 book, The Samson Option, claiming he was a Mossad asset. Israel's then Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir, speaking at Maxwell's state funeral in Israel, attended by every major Israeli intelligence figure, said he did more for Israel than can today be said, hinting at deep ties. A 1991 book by Gordon Thomas and Martin Dillon, Robert Maxwell, Israel's super spy, alleges he worked with Mossad in the 1970s, distributing stolen U.S. intelligence software, Enhanced Promise, globally as a Trojan horse for face fine. MI6 and MI5
Why?
reportedly grew wary
To
of
see
him
where
later,
I'm going.
suspecting he couldn't be trusted.
Turn on the light.
KGB ties are less documented, but noted in declassified UK files as a suspicion due to his Eastern European roots and business dealings. No smoking gun documents confirm he was on any agency's payroll, but the pattern, his access, relationships, and
Did they kick him out?
points
They
to
kicked him
involvement.
out.
The lack of public primary sources, like declassified files.
That's crazy. They kicked him out.
But credible. If you want me to dig into a specific agency's connection, let me know.
That's good. I think you made your point. So obviously, Ghislaine Maxwell was tied to the intelligence agencies, and so it would seem very, I like glaringly likely that she would be involved. And by you guys, repost the space. The
No.
I won't say any names. The voting foreigner just started a competing space. I want to make sure that we stay neck and neck. So bottom right corner, repost the space. Thank you. Go ahead.
And that was entirely consistent with the point that I was making. That I do think I do not deny that he had ties, that he seemingly had ties to Mossad. Robert Maxwell had ties to Mossad, and that I can understand that his daughter Ghislaine.
It was never proven good logic. Nobody ever proved anything.
What I'm saying is,
speculated.
I can understand that. I wanted to accept that Robert Maxwell had ties with him, and I can even understand an actual.
Why are you willing to accept it without any corroborating evidence?
Hold on.
Because you had to.
Hold on. Look. And the first thing we come in here, he starts dropping the N-word. He gonna blame the Jews again. He gonna blame the Jews again. That's what I tell you. He blaming the Jews again. This guy's a loser. Everything is the Jews' fault. Oh, man. I think we made our point. I think we made our point. The government worked them again. All right, y'all. We just had to bring this to you. I got to clip the fact that he got cussed out by that white woman. That's going to be clipped. But anyway, y'all. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, I done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. I will see you tomorrow for talks. We're going to go down a rabbit hole. We don't know how far we're going to get, but maybe it'll get you started and interested. Anyway, y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.